can trade Robinhood options on Robinhood, why the fuck can you not trade crypto and anything you want? I mean, that's madness. The fact that you could go to Vegas as an 18-year-old and blow all the money you've ever earned.
Right.
Look, it's a nice narrative. And if the technology is as powerful as we think it is, and it has network effects, it will go up in value over time. Does it offset the central bank balance sheet? It looks that way, but who knows? It's an exponential bloody asset. It goes up anyway. It should do in theory. So yes, it probably is a long-term. The combo, if those are your concerns, then the combo of gold and Bitcoin is actually a nice portfolio. It's actually pretty decent. And you can sit that quietly. Gold dampens the volatility somewhat. Crypto gives you upside. Super interesting. But to talk about how it's taking market share, and it is, because I'm seeing all the family offices allocate outside of gold because of it's just storing it, moving it around. It's bloody clunky and experience in the contemporary age. And like one of my clients for Global Macro Investor is a famous, very elderly, well, in age, not in mind, Italian industrialist. And I mean, he's a gold guy. He's a gold guy. You know, he grew up having to escape the war into Switzerland, across the border from Italy, blah, blah, blah. So he's gold guy through and through. I mean, his crypto position now for the last 2 years has been 5 times that of his gold position. Obviously the right thing to hold. And I sold my gold because I just looked at the Bitcoin gold chart and said, why do I own gold? That's not to devalue the value of gold in somebody's portfolio, but it wasn't right for me. I had an income.
Absolutely.
I didn't need it. What I saw was the biggest opportunity. So I'd use it to cushion because we didn't know what the hell was going to happen in March, April, May. But then after that, I'm like, no, now's the time to go for the other opportunity. Gold served its great purpose for me, worked very well. The truth is whatever Jamie Dimon says, JP Morgan's scaling crypto massively. They're banking crypto firms. They have, I'm speaking at a JP Morgan event. I'm speaking about crypto. Goldman's doing the same. Everybody's doing it. All the investment banks, all the asset management firms. There's no way you can ban it, and there's no intention of banning it. They kind of get it. And I think, at national security level, they understand it's actually useful, right? It's useful. Like gold is useful. People don't really want to ban gold because it's bloody useful if something goes wrong. So, I think regulation is the issue they've got is the 1934 securities law. So that is what is a security use, what's not. Then it only allows certain people to have access and others can't. And that becomes a very unfair system because, all rich people get rich off VC and early stage investments and the average Joe doesn't. So basically what happens is the VCs dump the stock once the company goes public, and many of these don't do well, which is what happened in the SPACs. A lot of them just went down in price. Mm-hmm. So how do you level the playing field? Crypto's early stage VC that's liquid. Okay, great. What you need to do is just give them a bloody warning to say, you're about to do a trade. Do you understand that this is a speculative asset? You can lose all your money. That's what you do with options. If you can trade Robinhood options on Robinhood, why the fuck can you not trade crypto and anything you want? I mean, that's madness. The fact that you could go to Vegas as an 18-year-old and blow all the money you've ever earned.
Right.
But, oh my God, if you dare buy a token that's not been approved for US listing, and then, I mean, that whole process just doesn't function anymore. And that has to change. And people will demand change because right now, the largest part of the population are millennials and Gen Z. And they're a lot larger than us Gen Xers and the boomers. So they're the voters. They like crypto. They've been stiffed. They come at 30 years old when all of us kind of start investing. That, everyone starts getting married and does all that stuff. 30 years old, buys a house or, whatever, starts settling a bit. Well, they got all-time record real estate prices, all-time record equity prices, all-time record fixed income prices, all-time record credit price. What is their future expected return? And then crypto comes along. Here's their opportunity. I did that pension crisis video few years ago. I don't know, it's been watched like 3.5 million times on YouTube now, but about this and saying, well, listen, the big opportunity for them is crypto. And so what? You're going to try and take that away from what, 160 million voters? That's never going to happen. So we're about to see a change here, which is the flexing of the power by the younger people to say, look, don't touch our opportunity set. Singapore recently regulated, and they just gave risk warnings. But, you know, because the madness is also in the US is if you have less than $1 million, you're deemed to be an idiot and inexperienced, and you can't do anything. But the moment you have that $1 extra, you're now genius and you're able to open the entire financial world is yours. I mean, who makes this rule, right? The reason those, sorry, I'm ranting now, but who makes these securities rules is that came out of the Great Depression. And what it was a way of centralizing the power within the banking industry because you had to go through an intermediary.
But it's like almost 100 years old. Look at Swift. It's 50 years old.
Because what they said was the banks, clever, right? Clever. They go, well, look, all these people got scammed in 1929, 1930. You know, what you actually need to do is let us manage that process. We can't let these little people. So what they take is fees, and off starts the financialization of the world all over again. With crypto, there is nobody taking the fees. Yeah, sure, projects get some fees and stuff like that, founders, but there's no middlemen taking fees in any significant way. You know, you pay a bit of commission, but that's it. So it's that gated access that's going to go. So basically, it's a long answer to say they're going to regulate it in a way that will please the younger people because they're not going to get a choice. It's writ large, it's bloody obvious. And that book was prescient. This is exactly what it is. It's a shifting of generational power. You know, our generation of Gen X is in the middle, and we have to help manage that change. But, you know, you look at the age of senators and Congress people.
Unbelievable. They got to go.
It's got to go because you're not representing the nation anymore. And that has to change. Now, watch this space. We're about to start the political season as we go into the midterms and then the actual election. A little bit of magic came out of the crypto industry about 3 months ago, the Constitution DAO. The Constitution DAO was a version of the Constitution came up for sale, and a bunch of people in crypto self-organized within 2 weeks raised $43 million to buy it. Now, they got outbid actually by the arch enemy, Ken Griffin from Citadel. But the point being is that the light bulb moment went off for me and everybody else. Everyone's like, well, I kind of failed. I'm like, no. You've let the genie out of the bottle. Look how fast this community, which has a lot of money, how fast it can self-mobilize, right? You couldn't do that in the banking industry, the pharmaceutical, all these lobby groups, right? That's a slow-moving machine. So watch what happens. There will be a DAO formed, and it will be a PAC that gives bipartisan support to any person running for election who supports blockchain. That money will be big, and it'll be young voters, and the politicians one by one will change, because what the crypto community is doing is what the oil companies do and everybody else. The oil companies all get together and write the rules for themselves. The food companies, everybody does, right? They rig the system. Here, this is the people doing it themselves. Yeah. This is what's amazing about crypto. You get together 10 million people and they write the rule book. That's democracy writ large. You know, America is particularly broken in its fighting between left and right. This is a way of kind of solving that. And I've been pointing out to people one of the things I love about crypto is free market capitalism, and it's collective, progressive as well, because it's a society where everybody's together. You act as a community. It's not each man for himself, but it is to other respects. So it's like a blending of all of the worlds, and everyone's had enough of the fighting and the hatred. And
absolutely.
And we don't see that in crypto. Yeah, the Bitcoin crowd hate everybody else, but other than that, you don't see it in crypto because it's just not relevant, because it's a societal thing. So we're all together in it, but we're all in it to make money or create businesses or create opportunities. Love it.
Yeah, you're talking about,
as many countries making angry statements about crypto, like we should ban it, and they've kind of banned it and not banned it. They unbanked all the crypto exchanges one period of time, a few years ago, and there was a big movement coming through, driven by Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, that they were probably going to come down hard on it. The budget gets announced yesterday in India, and the budget says, oh, crypto, they're virtual digital assets and they're not currencies. So it doesn't conflict with the rupee. So we're like, rupee, the currency, different thing. These are virtual digital assets, and we're going to tax them at 20% of capital gains, 30%. Now, it's a high tax rate, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. It's the start. Like today, Thailand announced that it's moving its capital gains from 15% to 0 or whatever it's doing, because that's what will happen. But you've basically been given the green light to 1.3 billion people, and Indians kind of understand the value of gold. They understand these savings instruments, and they're, that kind of top 200 million people are highly educated, very mathematical. I mean, Bitcoin's like perfect for them. They're big with technology, and they've usually got friends and family who live in different countries. So the diaspora wants to send money to each other. All of this, you want to send your auntie some money immediately. It's a shit show to send it to India. I mean, I'm half Indian, so I know what it's like. But stable coins, I could send it to my cousin in 2 minutes.
Absolutely.